I am Karen, and this is Fave Lifestyles. Thank you all for coming. We are filming live tonight at Matthews Winery, and I have the privilege to have Jeff Otis here with us tonight. Jeff, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining all these ladies. You feel a little
Yeah,
outnumbered.
no, we're having a good time so far.
Yes, we're all having a glass of wine and enjoying your newly remodeled tasting room here. It is beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely fabulous. So, you know what? Tell us a little bit about the Otis family and Matthews Winery. How did you guys get in this crazy business?
Yeah, so I'll back it up a little bit, and thanks everybody for coming. I hope that the wines are good so far. So my dad was at Microsoft for a while and ended up retiring. My brother fell in love with wine in college. My dad had helped a buddy of his named John Howie start Sea Star in Bellevue.
Okay, I think most people are familiar with that name.
So there was some of that going on, and my brother came home from college and wanted to become a sommelier. So he wanted to become like a professional wine person. So kind of through a connection at John Howie, we were able to get my brother in there, where he studied under Eric Liedholm, the head sommelier of Sea Star. If you go back 15 years ago, there was just a few wineries here in Woodinville, and at the time you had winemakers like Matt Loso at Matthews and Mark McNeely at Mark Ryan trying to pitch their wines to Sea Star and other restaurants to get their wines on the wine list. And so they befriended my brother and started inviting him out to this space where they made wine at the time.
Yeah, so this has really been a family business all along.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we were just kind of loosely connected at that point, and so my brother was helping Matt make some of his wines. Matt asked my brother if he knew anyone that would be looking to invest. He said maybe my dad, and so we became investors at about like 2003.
Okay, great.
Fast forward, we ended up buying the winery in 2007 or so with some partners, and then we bought out our partners about 4 years ago.
Oh, fantastic. And I know that the wine business is, especially a lot of them are family businesses, and the wine business can be a little fickle. And so I'm sure you guys have had growing pains along the way, and re-established yourselves?
Yeah. I mean, I think if you go back 10 years ago when we first got involved, Matthews is nowhere near where we are now versus where we are then is night and day. I mean, you can look on the ground here and see stain marks of some of the old tanks and equipment. But 2007.
Oh, so you actually made wine right here?
Yeah, this was the winemaking facility for years. Until we've converted it to be more of a retail space.
Yes, excellent.
But in terms of a business, I mean, we were struggling in the mid 2000s. The wines had been neglected. We had lost a lot of the relationships we had with different vineyards over in Eastern Washington, where they weren't even supplying us fruit anymore.
Oh my!
And so we had to step in, go over and manage all those relationships. And make sure that we got enough fruit. We ended up hiring a different winemaker, a guy that was down in Napa making wine for Silver Oak and a few others. Really good pedigree, incredible reputation, but was originally from Washington.
And what is his name?
His name's Aaron Morell.
Excellent.
Yeah, so we brought him up and thought that he was as talented of a winemaker as we could find. So we were able to resecure the grape contracts. We slid in, just this incredible winemaker. Then the recession hit in 2008. Based on just managing business cash flow, some of the top wineries in the state were giving up some of their premium grape contracts.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure
my
it was a hard
dad,
time
it was an incredible opportunity for us.
Right.
So my dad made the call at that point to just kind of go all in and lock up some of the best Cab, Merlot, Malbec, Sauvignon Blanc grapes that were available in the state, and he felt like it was a once in 100-year opportunity for us to get those grapes. I could just keep going on and on and on. Yeah. So we were able to get
obviously when you used to make the wine here, and obviously it's not here anymore. Right. So where is it now?
We make most of our wine over in Walla Walla
okay.
at a state-of-the-art facility that we put together with our winemaker. It was a challenge, as many in Woodinville will tell you, to truck grapes from Eastern Washington to this region.
They probably get a little squished along the way.
Yeah. Well, and after you pick, right? So if you're in the vineyards and you pick grapes, you want to crush and get them into tanks as soon as possible. So if there's 8, 10, 12 hours of delay time from the moment that they get picked to when they end up here in Woodinville, we wanted to shorten that time period.
Right.
Because we felt like it was affecting the quality of our wines. So yeah, we have a state-of-the-art facility now that it's just right there in Walla Walla,
Right.
close to all the vineyards.
So it seems like you kind of reconstructed Matthews and had a new focus after 2008.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think our goal was we wanted to elevate Matthews as a brand. We didn't want to get away from what it was founded as, which was Bordeaux inspired and Washington crafted, but we felt like we could elevate our game and do things a lot better and make better wines. So, you fast forward through all these decisions that we've made over the last 8-9 years or so, and we just released like record-breaking wines that we've got the best scores we've ever had. As a brand. So when you think Matthews, you think Bordeaux inspired. So we're going to try the Sauvignon Blanc and the Claret. I mean, if you would get in a plane and fly over to Bordeaux, you're going to have Cab dominant blends or Merlot dominant blends if you're drinking the reds, or you're going to have Sauvignon Blanc or Semillon for the whites. So we make a Sauvignon Blanc, and then we make this Cab dominant blend. The Claret just was scored 93 points by Wine Spectator, which is one of the best scores we've ever gotten on the Claret.
I saw that. That is awesome.
And then we released our Matthews Merlot, Matthews Cab, and Matthews Reserve, and like the Cab got 94, and the Reserve got 95.
Excellent. So tell us a little bit about these two wines here that we're talking about. We always choose a couple wines to highlight for the evening, and the Claret is my favorite.
Yeah,
so, but we'll talk about the white first, because usually you drink a white before you drink
wine. Yeah,
wine.
so we try to keep our Sauvignon Blanc balanced. I mean, in Washington, and maybe I should back up. So why Bordeaux inspired before we get into this? The varietals that are famous from the Bordeaux region, like Sauvignon Blanc, like Merlot, like Malbec, Cab Franc, Cabernet, those varietals tend to grow really well in Washington as well, just because of where we're at in the world, the amount of sunlight, soil. So Washington's become known as like a Bordeaux imitator in the sense that we can make really good Bordeaux-style wine.
Bordeaux of the West.
Yeah, and so in terms of our Sauvignon Blanc, I say just think summer when you drink it. So it's really well balanced. It has ripe notes of like, guava, pineapple, but it's not overbearing. It goes well by itself. It also goes well with seafood, cheeses. I mean, so many different things that you can pair. But we make it to drink right away, so it's not really a wine that ages all that well. So you'd want to drink it in the first summer or two.
Yeah, excellent. Fantastic.
The Claret is
yes. So
the Claret is a wine that you can dress up or dress down. So I've had the Claret with some of the most expensive steaks in Seattle, and I've also had it with burgers in my backyard, right?
Yeah.
So it goes well with just about anything. My wife and I, our guilty pleasure is watching the Bachelor and Bachelorette series, and the Claret is my go-to Bachelor wine. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, and you have a cute little family too.
Yeah.
You have a lovely wife and 2 little kids, right?
Yeah, we have a 6.5-year-old son and an almost 2-year-old little girl.
Yes, I've seen pictures and they are adorable.
Thank you.
Absolutely adorable. So yeah, so the Claret, we came in tasting one night and we were like, okay, let's just taste a few and really find out which is our favorite. And this was definitely mine.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I love to educate as we go. So Claret is an English term for Bordeaux blend.
Oh,
Claret
okay.
is not a grape, so it's just it's a term for a blend. But it's this came up a little earlier. It's not the French pronouncing Claret. My guess is that the British had a hard time selling Bordeaux blend, and so they just renamed it Claret to appeal to an English consumer. So, anyways,
well, that's good.
If you see the term Claret, just know that means Bordeaux blend.
Yes. So though Matthews has all kinds of fabulous events too. And if you ever come on a Friday night, you'll see they usually have a band playing and there's all kinds of people. And you guys have really established yourselves as really relating to the community. And that seems to be very important to your family.
Yeah, I mean, there was a conversation I had a couple days ago where they were comparing us, because we're now making some of the best wine in the state, with brands that are a little bit more elitist and a little bit more exclusive, where like you can only access it if you're in the wine club and they only release it twice a year, and like that's not our brand. Our brand is totally about community. Yeah. We want to be a little bit understated, but we want to be super welcoming to everyone.
Yes. And I think you have been a big part of that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I grew up in Woodinville. This is home for me.
Yeah.
I think that Woodinville is just starting something really cool. It's in like the first inning of what I think it's going to be. Right. And I think as cool as it is to cater to the international visitors and the 800,000 guests that we have every year as a result of being wine country. I also want to be a place that our community can be proud of,
Right.
and feel like that's our place,
Yes.
and we can go there and see our neighbors and hang out with our kids and all that.
Well, it's really nice too, because I noticed Jeff sometimes on Facebook, he'll invite the community to come in and taste and have a community night, and that's really special.
Yeah, so when my wife and I moved here a year ago, I mean, this is more family related than winery related, but we left Kirkland, we bought a place up here in Woodinville. We felt like Woodinville is about as good of a place as you can find in order to raise kids.
Yeah.
I just love the type of people that Woodinville produces. It's like, it doesn't matter who you are, what family you come from, or what you do, like everyone's pretty cool with everyone, and I want my kids to be that way. But when we moved here, with the advantages of Facebook, we put together what's called the Woodinville Young Families Group, and so we just started adding people that we met that had younger kids, and so we used the winery for a ton of events.
Well, any event like this ladies' event, we have a glass of wine, and it just makes it all the better. So
Yeah.
we really enjoy it. Well, Jeff, thank you
Oh,
so
thank you.
much for letting
Thank you, everybody.
us visit with you here at your winery. And ladies, I feel free to come back anytime with your friends. Bring them and your lovely tasting room.
Thank you.